The overall function of the immune system is to prevent or limit infection. When the immune system first recognizes invasion by pathogens, it responds to address the problem. If an immune response cannot be activated when there is sufficient need, problems arise, like infections and other diseases. On the other hand, when an immune response is activated without a real threat or is not turned off once the danger passes, different problems arise, such as allergic reactions and autoimmune diseases. Let's look at the basic structure of the immune system. The immune system essentially consists of 3 layers of defense that protects our body from various types of attacks from microorganisms and even non-living things like toxins, metals, etc. Each layer consists of different mechanisms of immunity, and when one layer is breached or invaded, the mechanisms of the layer below it come into action until the attack is successfully controlled. The first and basic layer of human immune system is the barrier immunity, below which is the innate immunity, and finally we have the adaptive immunity or the acquired immunity. Let's decode these terms one by one and understand about the basic structure of the human immune system. So the first layer of defense in human immune system is the barrier immunity, and the most important part of barrier immunity is of course the skin. Skin is considered as the largest organ of human body, with an average surface area of 1.73 meters square. In simple terms, physical barriers prevent pathogens such as bacteria and viruses from entering the organism. The skin not only provides a physical barrier that prevents any pathogens from entering our body, but it also provides protection by means of chemical and biological barriers. Skin cells produce and secrete important antimicrobial proteins that kill the invading microorganisms. The skin also contains immune cells that help to stop the microbes from invading our body. Shedding of skin epithelium, also known as desquamation, helps to remove bacteria and other infectious agents that may have adhered to the skin surface. Similar types of barrier immunity is also provided by many other surfaces present inside our body, including the surface lining of our respiratory system, the gastrointestinal system, the genitourinary system, and the surface lining of our nose and pharynx. All these types of surfaces provide a physical barrier that prevents the attack from pathogens, and they also provide various types of chemical antimicrobials which try to stop the invading pathogens at a very early stage. For example, the surface lining of our respiratory system has these small hair-like projections that are known as respiratory cilia. A special property of these cilia is that they have a particular direction of movement, by virtue of which they remove any foreign material that may have entered our lungs while breathing. This provides a strong physical barrier that prevents buildup of microorganisms and other foreign material in our lungs. Defects in the function of cilia are very common in smokers, which leads to higher incidence of chest infections. The respiratory surface also provides various types of antimicrobial chemicals like surfactants, mucus, and defensins, which help to stop the invading microorganisms. Our stomach releases strong acids with a very low pH that kills most of the microorganisms that we accidentally ingest while eating. The tears in our eyes also contain special antimicrobial proteins like lysozyme that kill many pathogens. The constant flushing of tears also prevents any buildup of foreign material in our eyes, which is also an example of barrier immunity.
I have to stop and tell you guys.
So this was the first line of defense of our immune system, and this was known as the barrier immunity. Now what happens when a microorganism, say a bacteria or a virus, evades our barrier immunity and is successful in entering our body? In that case, the microorganism is met by our next layer of immune system that is known as the innate immunity. Now to understand about the innate immunity, you have to first understand about the meaning of the word innate. The word innate is made up of 2 words, in and nate. In means inside and nate means born. So innate is something that you are born with. Now why this is known as the innate immunity? This is because the innate immunity is present in our body from the time we were born, meaning it is already present when we take birth. This is in comparison to our third layer of immunity, that is adaptive immunity, that develops after we were born. The innate immune system is an older evolutionary defense strategy as compared to the adaptive immunity that developed later. The innate immunity is non-specific, meaning it does not have a special mechanism of action for different types of pathogens. We will discuss the differences between the innate and the adaptive immunity later in this video. Now per se, the barrier immunity is also a part of the innate immunity since it is also present since birth. But for understanding this topic, it is better to divide these types of immunity into three categories. Now let's talk about the innate immune system in detail. The defense system of the innate immunity consists of the various types of cells and the complement system. Let's first talk about the various types of cells of the innate immune system and look at their basic functions. The different types of cells in our innate immune system are neutrophils, mast cells, basophils, dendritic cells, eosinophils, monocytes, macrophages, and NK cells or the natural killer cells. All these cells are type of white blood cells or WBCs, also known as leukocytes. Leuko meaning white and cytes meaning cell. The neutrophils are the most abundant immune cells, making up about 60 to 70% of the total population of immune cells. They form an essential part of the innate immune system. One word you will hear a lot in this immune system is the word phagocytosis. Phagi means eating and cytosis means by a cell. So phagocytosis in simple terms is cell eating. Neutrophils are a type of phagocytes that detect and eat the pathogen. Within the cell, the neutrophils release various enzymes that kill and digest the pathogen. They are normally found in the bloodstream and are short-lived and highly mobile as they can enter parts of tissue where other cells or molecules cannot. Neutrophils are usually the first cells to respond to any infection or inflammation. This is due to their heightened ability to sense what's going around the body by detecting special chemical signals released by pathogens and by our own body cells that tell them what's going around in the body. If you look at a neutrophil, it has some characteristic features. The first thing you would notice is the multi-lobe nucleus of the cell. This is the normal appearance of the nucleus, and this is the reason why neutrophils are also known as polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Polymorphonuclear meaning the nucleus of the cell has multiple morphologies, meaning some neutrophils have 2 lobes in their nucleus, some 3 or 4 or 5. So there are multiple morphologies that the nucleus of these neutrophils can have. So they are also known as the polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Another characteristic feature you would notice in the structure of these cells is the presence of large number of granules in the cytoplasm. On an average, about 200 to 250 granules are present in each neutrophil, and these granules contain many different types of enzymes, chemicals, and cytokines that have numerous functions in our immune system. The neutrophils release enzymes like myeloperoxidase, defensins, serine proteases, and various cytokines that have numerous functions in our immune system. They also release several other chemicals like alkaline phosphatase, NADPH oxidase, lysozyme that help in eliminating these pathogens. Like I told you, they are phagocytic cells that detect and eat up pathogens like bacteria. Upon ingesting the bacteria is contained in this bubble-like structure known as the phagosome. This phagosome gets fused with lysosome, the granule of the cell which contains the lysozyme in them, which is a type